Love you 3,000.
Ano habak 3,000 from
Love
UAE.
you 3,000.
Ti amo 3,000.
Para kami dahil 3,000.
Welcome to another edition of Coach Miranda Minor's Daily Technical Charting, Fundamentals, Improvement of Trading Quotient, and everything about crypto all in one channel.
Get to know more about cryptocurrency trading from Coach Miranda Minor. Watch our daily technical analysis, fundamental analysis, exclusive interviews, and everything about crypto all in one channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the one and only, the voice that introduced, pitikin kita sa ilong, isang hampas na lang ng palakol, the power of yet. Please, let's give it up to our pambansang crypto coach, Coach Miranda Minor.
All right, hello. Isang magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. My name is Coach Miranda Minor and welcome to another edition of our cryptocurrency technical analysis, fundamentals, exclusive interviews, and everything in crypto all in one channel ka, Miranda. For our topic for today, we have a very special guest. Nako, talagang ito ay tingin ko walang Pilipinong di nakakilala sa taong ito. No, ito ay I have the privilege to have, a very smart and full of wisdom individual in our exclusive interview today, Miranda, and parang kulang yata ang buong araw or oras para ma-introduce ko lang siya. No, but one of the things that I would like to kind of really emphasize is yung bakit tayo nagkakaroon ng ganitong interview, Miranda, is of course we need to also get insights on several lenses, before in interview natin taga Metrobank, taga COL Financial, mga investors, mga investment analysts, mga chief equity strategists, in terms of their insights on what's happening, because itong si Fed nagwawala talagang from 0% to 5% terminal. Di ko alam kung terminal basis rate na ba to. Ito terminal rate na ba si 5%, but it's really interesting, Miranda. But true enough, coming from our show last night, talagang apektado tayo ng FA on terms of the price of Bitcoin. Now, before we move forward, obviously the price of Bitcoin is currently sitting at $28,000. Medyo maganda yung ating FA kanina. Lumabas yung favored PCE number ng Fed. Medyo bumababa na ang ating PCE number month on month. So tingin natin baka by May 2 magbaba na sila ng interest rates, but we'll see. I think based on our forecast, it's still gonna be potentially 25 basis points. But without further ado, Miranda, type number 1 kung ikaw ay ready na. Thank you sa mga nanonood today. Reniel RC, hindi araw-araw ganito ang guest natin. I agree with you. Leoniver, kay Shimace Chu, and Kuya Thorn, maraming salamat. Kay Romel, and of course in our Binance Live, we have 300 plus viewers there. Ang bilis. And again, simulan na natin, Miranda, kasi ang dami kong tanong for today. Nako.
Ikaw ay nakikinig kay Coach Miranda Minor sa Daily Crypto Live.
All right, without further ado, let me introduce to you our guest for today, none other than the former Solicitor General of the Philippines, no? Bar top notcher 1999. Grabe. And of course, no, currently the Dean of the College of Law, Siliman University, and the author of the newest book in town. Ito, sobrang excited ako dito kasi naghahanap talaga ako ng Pilipinong author. Finally, bukod kay Safe Dean, meron na tayong Filipino author. Yan, yung book na ito, Bitcoin kay Miranda, yan, tingnan mo mabuti. I'm enjoying reading this book actually, and that's a reason I would like to talk to the author himself. None other than Dean Florin Hilbay. Dean, kamusta na po?
Good evening to you and magandang gabi sa lahat ng nakikinig sa ating lahat.
Dean, kamusta ang buhay, no? Coming out of the government, now in the academe, how is it?
It's been very interesting na interlude for me. I was last in government 2018. I was Solicitor General up until 2016. And then bumalik ako sa UP College of Law noong 2018. Noong 2020, nung pandemic, nagdalawang isip ako about everything. So I decided to leave Metro Manila. So I decided to build a small farm in the province. And doon nakapagmuni-muni tayo at doon natin na-discover yung history of money. Kaya napa-deep dive tayo doon sa Bitcoin. At ngayon nga ay nagkaroon tayo ng opportunity to come up with a book because I think every Filipino should understand the history of money.
So din off-grid living ba 'yon? Off-grid na or
yeah, basically I went off-grid. I turned off my Twitter, I turned off my Facebook. Ang natira lang sa akin yung Instagram account ko because I wanted to show photos of my small farm. The garden I was cultivating, pinapakita ko doon sa mga kaibigan ko, yung mga wansoy, yung mga talong, yung mga sile. And it's very empowering because I've been a lawyer for almost 30 years now and napansin ko na parang wala akong kaalam-alam with respect to how things work. Medyo lumambot na yung palad and learning how to grow your own food, no? Yung nahahawakan mo yung lupa, yung soil, na nakikita mo yung mga uod. It's very empowering and you feel very grounded, no?
Ang ganda ng very grounded. Actually, meron din ako mga kilalang mga kumpanyero na nasa farming din. Winston Hines is a friend of a friend, no? He's into farming as well.
He used to be with LTFRB, di ba?
Yes.
Taga Sambales yan si Chair Winston. Kaibigan natin yan.
Correct. Yeah. So friend of a friend, and I know he's into farming as well. I agree, it's very liberating. Kamirandas know this. I moved from Manila to here in the province as well. I'm in Cavite, 13 Martires. And because like you, Dean, no, talaga napaka-liberating. So, I mean, bar top notcher, Solicitor General, wala ka nang ilalagay pa. I mean, Yale Master of Laws. Like, I'm presenting the credentials right now on my screen. I'm just curious, no. So, 2 years pandemic, no. Then you obviously went off grid, and right now you went back to the academe. Talk to us about how did you experience and how did you find the value of writing about Bitcoin when you were off grid? Of course, to your point, greens, soil, diba? What gave that appetite? Was it always been there in the subconscious and then eventually it happened?
Coach, you missed something about my background, which is my undergrad is economics.
Okay.
And nung nag-aaral ako sa UP College of Law, I taught economics in UST.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's the reason why there is a UST alumni. Okay, I gotcha. All right.
Yeah. And so, nung inintroduce sa akin yung Bitcoin, hindi talaga ako naniniwala. Nung, I think around 2015, one of my lawyers who had an economics background, sabi ko parang gaming token lang yung Bitcoin na yan.
And
Parang
you were like that 2015, ah? 2015, okay. Okay.
Yeah, and so my one of my assistants in the office of the Solicitor General, sabi niya, H, they call me H in the office. There's this interesting na currency, I think it will appeal to you. And ako, dinismiss ko siya, no? And then my brother went into cryptocurrency no 2017, 2018, no? And parang I felt na parang hindi siya ganun ka seryoso na pag-aralan. It was actually during the pandemic, I was watching a YouTube channel on the evolution of money. Na parang napansin ko, maybe there's something about this Bitcoin. And so I started reading about it. I bought all the books. Kung anong libro ang Bitcoin meron ako niyan. All of them. No? So for 2 years, ang privilege ko na lang is I was basically alone studying while growing my own food. Para akong isang monghe, no? And the more I learned about Bitcoin, the more I was unlearning yung economics background ko. So it was really surprising for me. Kasi yung economics, mainstream na economics is Keynesian, no? Inflationary economics basically. Kailangan na magdagdag ng mag-print ng money basically para ma-pump prime yung economy. But Bitcoin is Austrian economics, no? Sound money advocates. Dapat hindi mo ginagalaw yung supply. Ang ginagalaw mo dapat is yung real economy of goods and services. Kasi kahit padamihin mo yung pera, kung hindi gumagalaw yung real economy of goods and services, nai-inflate mo lang. And inflation is basically a corrosive disease na ang tinatamaan talaga yung middle and lower class. No? Kaya nga, Bitcoiners always say, inflation is basically a tax on the middle class and the poor. Kaya kung titingnan mo, Coach, yung numbers, no? Both in Europe, here in the Philippines, palaki yung inequality between the haves and the have-nots, no? Yung 1%ers and then yung 99%. Kasi habang dumadami yung pera na piprint, meron yung tinatawag na the Cantillon effect. No? Yung unang bugso ng pera na consequence ng money printing, napupunta doon sa mga bangko, sa mga nag-i-invest sa real estate. So habang sila nakakapag-invest, lumalaki yung pera nila, kapag na-debase na yung pera, kapag bumagsak na yung value, ang tinatamaan yung mga fixed income earners na karamihan ng mga mamamayan, whether it's in the Philippines or in the United States. And the effect is global. No? Pag tinignan mo yung money supply chart ng Pilipinas pati ng United States, pag ganun talaga siya. No?
Packet ng packet.
Oo. So, isa lang yung epekto nun. Pag pinapadami mo yung pera, para kang merong coke na nilalagyan mo ng maraming tubig na nadadilute yung value ng pera or yung lasa ng coke.
Right.
So, that's a big problem for society.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dean, kasi that's exactly what we were saying yesterday. Fed just printed $300 billion money supply, and that's the reason why they were able to save, mga banks na bumabagsak for the past couple of weeks and months.
Exactly.
No? And I mean, to your point, yung after effect niyan, madedebase yung value ng currency mo. Therefore, it can affect those. Kaya nga people are going on equities right now kasi they wanna have more attractive ways to hedge their money already. In this case, Bitcoin is more attractive. Most recently, yung bank narrative natin. So Dean, so just going back there, no. So economics background, you have your 2015. I want to kind of pivot on that discussion muna kasi everyone has their own first awakening, ika nga, no?
Yes.
So, 2015, people were like kept passing the bug to your ear. Okay, there's this existing Bitcoin. And of course, from an economic background, kuha mo agad dyan di ba? From an inflationary money supply, etc. So, but when you came back, di ba, you were like off-grid for 2 years, and then all of a sudden when you came back, you have a book. How was the people? How was the people surrounding you? What was their feedback? What was the feedback of people around? Okay, Florin Hilbay, former Solgen, and quite frankly, I'm not sure if I'm hearing anyone who speaks Bitcoin right now from pre and before government, right? So I think it's just you and at that level, right? A level. So, what was the reaction, Dean, of the community?
Sabi na, di ba, pag ikaw lang yung nag-iisa, parang medyo you need to look at the mirror and ask yourself, nabaliw ba ako? No? And you need to check yourself dahil nga baka naman talagang nabaliw ka lang talaga, and people are really worried.
Like seriously, people are commenting on that, or like are they telling what's happening? Ganon is that?
Like I said, Coach, pinatay ko yung Facebook ko. I deactivated it, or hindi ko siya ginamit for 2 years. And then, I have about 150,000 followers on Facebook. And then I have my private profiles of several thousand. Ganon din sa Twitter. I think 50% of people who follow me are worried, no, na parang ano na nangyari kay Solgen, no? Before he would talk about constitutional law, about
West Philippine Sea, everything.
Philippine Sea, and then he'd complain about what's happening in government, kung tingin niya merong injustice na nangyari. Suddenly he stops talking about all of those things and starts talking about Bitcoin. And alam mo naman, Coach, no, mas matagal ka sa akin dito sa space na to. Merong bad rep pa yung cryptocurrency, not just Bitcoin but all of the cryptocurrencies dahil doon sa mga pump and dump, yung FTX, and then yung mga kung ano-anong kalokohan na nangyayari dahil nga bago yung space, no? Kaya ang tanong ng iba, I think 50% are a bit worried na baka nabaliw ako. I think yung 40% parang they're just being nice, because of my reputation as a public official. Parang baka naman may pinagdadaanan lang si Solgen, no? And then I think around 8% are starting to see what I'm seeing, pero hindi pa rin sila committed. And then yung the rest, mga 2%, parang unity of vision. They've started to convince their friends and families na read yung libro ni Dean Hilbay and manood kayo ng mga documentaries na ito. Hindi kami baliw. Like, we're trying to help as many people as possible to see kung ano yung nangyayari doon sa buong mundo because of the massive money printing. Kasi if you look back to history, di ba, yung hyperinflation in Germany noong 1923, money printing lang yan. Yung decline of Roman civilization from a global civilization to the Dark Ages, ano yung nangyari? It's basically money printing. So every time a society debases its money, nagkakagulo, nagiging unstable yung society. And it's a recurring pattern, and kaya nga I'm very passionate about Bitcoin. I'm willing to risk my reputation as a scholar, as a former public official, because I think na kapag napag-aralan ng mga tao yung meaning ng Bitcoin and yung problem with inflation, then they will start to see na hindi talaga nabaliw si Solgen Hilbay.
No, but that's quite a bold statement, right? I mean, coming from, I mean, let's admit it. I mean, you are a Solgen, former Solgen, and a bar top notch, and for you to say that, it means a lot, no, for people who's watching right now. And I gotta tell you, it's just growing and growing. The community is growing. But to your point, medyo addition subtraction tayo because may mga optics problem nga, no, optics problem, believers and then non-believers, etc. Is that I mean, is that how you think the government is right now? Obviously, we have. I think the nearest to that is the Maharlika, but it's not like the e-peso rather. E-peso and the Maharlika, right? But I mean, in your perspective, I'd really like to ask you this because I think there's no one credible to answer this but you. What's the readiness of the Pinoys? Gaano tayo kahanda bilang Pilipinas, no? Bilang nasa gobyerno ka before on that national capacity. Gaano tayo kahanda din on Bitcoin or crypto as something na pwedeng gamitin araw-araw?
Well, two things, no? Number one, gaano kahanda yung government as the state, 'di ba, as a public institution. At least thankfully you have regulated BSP entities, 'di ba? Kaya nakakapasok, may on-ramps and off-ramps dito sa Pilipinas, hindi katulad sa ibang bansa na pinapatay na yung on-ramps and off-ramps. So here in the Philippines, you can still buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. May mga local exchanges that are regulated. So kung ang tingin mo sa Bitcoin is an exit, at least may pintuan na nakabukas, no? I think that's a very good thing, no? With respect to the population, yung pangalawang part, no? I think it's really very important na ma-educate yung mga tao. So I basically came out of retirement to do Bitcoin education. I'm very thankful for people like you for giving me the platform.
Our pleasure, Dean. Our pleasure.
People like you who are, di ba, educating other people, not just with respect to trading, but yung macro environment. Kasi, di ba, merong magagaling na just by looking at the chart, no? Tingin nila kaya nilang mag-trade. Merong mga ganon. But there are also some people na, okay, before you look at the chart, dapat tingnan mo din yung macro.
That's exactly.
Kasi there's an underlying context bago ka dapat mag-trade. Meron din naman na, okay, ano ba talaga yung big picture? And for me, I think that's my goal, no? Why does this industry exist in the first place? And I think it's precisely because there's a problem with the money. Kaya yung mga tao nagte-trade sila kasi they're looking for ways na ma-invest yung pera nila because money is basically a melting ice cube today because of inflation.
Right.
Whether it's in the US or Venezuela or in the Philippines. Kaya it's really crucial, no? Pangatlo, with respect to yung using, say, Bitcoin as money, I think yung Lightning Network, no, I don't know if very familiar yung mga traders mo about the Lightning Network. It's still growing kasi yung Bitcoin, kailangan niya ng confirmation time ng about 10 minutes. And so you can use it yung on-chain transactions for buying coffee, my favorite drink, no? But with the Lightning Network, 'di ba? Kung pumunta kayo sa Boracay, you have around 270 establishments. And hindi ito yung mga hotels, ha? Ito yung mga
tindahan lang.
Ito yung barbershops, ito yung mga mom and pop na stores accepting Lightning Network payment. So, I think it's going to grow more and more dahil kapag na-bridge yung takot na ano ba yung Bitcoin, ano ba yung crypto na yan, hindi ko alam, baka ma-scam ako dyan. Once na makita na pwedeng pambili ng load, pwedeng pambayad ng
bills,
utilities,
right.
yung pambayad, i-cash out sa 7-Eleven, then mawawala yung takot nila. Then magiging mas comfortable.
Which El Salvador did already when they tender it as a legal tender,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm a bit competitive when it comes to these things. You know, because Filipinos are very digital native. Ang taas ng numbers ng mga Pilipino na may cellphone. We have more Filipinos who have cell phones than Filipinos who have access to the banking system. Kaya yung sinasabi na banking the unbanked is really possible here in the Philippines, lalo na doon sa mga taga-probinsya. Kasi marami yung takot na pumasok doon sa bangko kasi ang daming mga requirements, 'di ba? But kung may cellphone ka, you download the Bitcoin Lightning Wallet or yung iba, MetaMask yung ginagamit, then suddenly you have a currency that you can trade with.
And you would imagine, napakaganda ng society kung merong ganun. Ano? But again, from a narrative, Dean, no? Narrative, especially if you're creating a potentially new form of money, syempre yung mga current monetary regulators, tataas lahat ng kilay niyan. 'Di ba?
For sure, no? Kasi like yung iba na mga Bitcoiners, no, medyo aggressive talaga yung approach nila, no?
Right.
Yung iba pa nga ay tinatawag na anarchist, no? But I think the middle ground is for Bitcoin, for example, to become a check on money printing. Kasi lalo na kung may on-ramp, katulad dito sa Pilipinas na pwede kang bumili sa isang local exchange. No? Alam naman ng mga kabataan ngayon na yung concept ng money printing na di ba? Marami na yung nakakarinig ng money printing and alam nila yung konsepto, no? Kung yung Coke mo nilalagyan ng mas maraming tubig na dilute, maghahanap sila ng exit. And the exit there is Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency that they can trust and trade in. So, perfect kasi yung mga Pilipino gets and they're digital natives, especially with our young population.
So you think Dean, na with all of the natural problems ng tao, no? I mean, to your point, marami pa ring unbanked. And
Yes.
kumaga iba rin ang scenario ng US and the Philippines, no? Do you think that, I mean, 10 years from now, no, 10 years from now, obviously I think I'm gonna be still here. Medyo siguro malalaki na talaga yung anak natin. No, but anong tingin mo? I mean, do you have a fearless forecast? Because to your point, I mean, I've read your book, definitely understand what Bitcoin is. It's store value, right? It's not inflationary. It's there's a limited supply. What's your take on Bitcoin? Do you have any forecast on its potential price?
It's very insanely difficult to predict yung potential price ng Bitcoin. And if you ask me, I think what's really special about Bitcoin is when it becomes a world reserve currency. Because when it becomes a world reserve currency, and there's a real potential because of what's happening globally, di ba? Yung China and Russia, no, they've started trading commodities in yuan.
Yuan, yes. And then there's this BRICS, no? Yung Brazil, lahat na they're trying to...
I saw you tweet about it. Kaya sabi ko, oh, perfect. Si Coach gets the big picture, no? Kasi a lot of people do not understand na yung current monetary regime, bago lang to, 1970s lang to eh. 'Di ba? Because of the what Nixon did in 1971, tinanggal niya yung tie between gold and dollar. And then they created what is known as the petrodollar system na lahat ng oil dapat sold in dollars. Kaya may artificial demand for dollars.
But, because of oil.
If the BRICS, diba, which is a very large group of nations, decide na, okay, we're going to ditch the dollar, ayaw na namin kasi nagpiprint masyado tong Fed. Lugi kami. Imagine.
And they can control, no? They can control, I mean, technically not just them, but the whole world. Like, pag bumagsak ang stock market ng US, bagsak ng Pilipinas bukas eh.
Yes. And for not just for the BRICS nation, but also for the Philippines, just look at the unfairness, no? When we want dollars, we need to sell our natural resources. We need to have our Filipinos going abroad and becoming nurses and helpers and doctors and teachers. But when the United States needs things, goods and services, oil, they just print the money.
They print the money, yeah. And they have unlimited money supply. Fed has unlimited money supply.
Kaya nga. So, and China, of course, doesn't want that. Russia, of course, doesn't want that. India and then Brazil, they don't want that. So, it has to stop and it will stop at some point. Kasi it's totally unfair. No?
Yeah.
And yun nga, habang lumalakas yung money printing, habang bumabagsak yung mga bangko all over the world, no? Especially in the US, di ba? The two biggest bank crashes happened last month.
In one month. Yeah.
So, and yung bailout na yun, hindi naman siya libre. Bailout means they're being saved and ang ginagamit is yung pera ng mga tao by diluting the people's monies with money printer. So it cannot continue forever. It's going to stop at some point.
Yeah.
That is where Bitcoin comes in. Kasi kung pumasok yung digital yuan, it's just another currency that can be printed by another country. Diba? Because every empire will want to print money. Kasi nga, that's called the the privilege of empires, yung the right of seigniorage, the right of the seigneur. Diba? But if you have Bitcoin, nobody can touch it. Not the United States, not Russia, not China. So it's your hedge. It's your exit. It's your insurance against the money printers.
Right.
Kaya nga, diba, yung mga sinasabi ng mga Bitcoiners, 12 words in my head and you cannot reach it. That is the value proposition of Bitcoin. Kaya, Coach, kung tatanungin mo ko what's the price of Bitcoin, you know, it can eat all the assets in the world. Kasi once people who are buying land for investment purposes or stocks or bonds, you know, realize na, well, land pwedeng bumagsak katulad ng 2008 ng Great Financial Crisis.
Right.
Yung stocks, sometimes it becomes a casino under a regime of money printing. Yung bonds, governments can default and can fail na halos nangyari sa UK early this year. Well, ano yung safest place to hide? Before, for the last 2,000 years, it was gold. Ngayon, you have money na accessible sa ordinary people, which is Bitcoin. You can buy in sats, diba? And then store it. Pwede sa hardware wallet, pwede sa hot wallet. So, it's very empowering for ordinary citizens all over the world to have access to some asset like that na hindi mapiprint ng kahit anong gobyerno.
So I mean, if you're going to be given like, you know, a magic wand, no? Ang government natin, sabi natin kung professor, ang bureaucracia natin parang parang 20 feet kung gagawa ka ng org chart. Sobrang bureaucratic natin. How do we start this? How do we start Bitcoin? I mean, I've made some research, Dean, you know. So obviously, I've been hearing na the UP College of Law is working, well, I'm not sure if it's UP College of Law, but there's someone working from UP together with Bangko Sentral on framing the IRR today when we try, is that correct? When we try,
that's the law center.
The law center,
the
UP Law Center, exactly. So they're currently working now to kind of understand what's going to be the IRR long term, no?
Yes.
But I mean, where do we start here if we wanted to start educating but really hit more the masses and even probably the government, Dean?
Well, ako, you know, let's really start with the universities and then on YouTube. Yung just concept of sound money, right? I think that's really very important. And I'll be lecturing nga pala. I don't know, Coach, if you and your audience is interested. I'll be lecturing sa UP College of Law sa Malcolm Theater, April 19, 2 p.m.
Okay.
And for me, that's my minor contribution to educating my my former colleagues in the UP College of Law and yung mga estudyante nila na there's this new thing that's going to affect the entire world. No? Kasi nga, the way I explain it to friends is yung subjects that we teach, whether it's economics, finance, law, or accounting, para siyang mga apps. Diba?
Right.
But if the protocol changes, if the phone changes, yung software that makes the apps possible change, then everything changes. And that is Bitcoin. Ganun siya kalalim. If the money system change, everything will have to change. Kasi taxation rules will have to change. Wills and estates will have to change.
Everything needs to change. Kasi you're technically, to your point, I mean, Bitcoin is a form of language.
Yes.
Diba? It's a form of language. Really basically changing as the language of the country. And that's like, it takes an entire act of Congress to make it happen, diba? So
yeah, well, for now, actually, Coach, I'm a bit happy that the on-ramps are still there.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, ang mabigat kasi niyan is, say for example, the BSP or Congress declares na katulad nung Nigeria or nung China, di
Right.
ba?
The other
No
e-Naira.
more access to Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrencies.
Mhm.
So, underground, puro P2P, and then find a way na to your computer to find others who are buying and selling, then that's going to be a big problem for the entire industry and for, I think, Filipinos in general na who are thinking of ano ba yung gagawin ko in an era of very high inflation. Kasi yun naman talaga yung problema. If we don't have very high inflation, then people can say, okay, I'll save in peso. Okay lang, kasi tomorrow, yung 100 pesos ko can still buy the same goods and services. But if that is not the situation, people will start trading for other currencies, like whether it's the dollar, yen, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other currency. They'll look for trading kasi nga, hindi safe humawak ng peso or ng dollar.
Yeah, pagising mo bukas, wala nang value yung pera mo, di ba?
That's right. That's
right. Dean, excuse me lang sasagutin ko lang yung nagtanong, bakit nagpa-pump si Bitcoin? Miranda, may fundamental na lumabas ngayon. The PCE number is very encouraging. No? Lumabas yan ng 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Lumabas siya. Very, very encouraging. It's showing lower rates and obviously PCE is a metric of Fed, Miranda. So it looks like people are speculating again, hindi na magtataas ng interest rates yan si Fed ng May 2 and 3. Yun ang ating reason ba't umaakit si Bitcoin, Miranda. Alright, so Dean, tinake note ko lang April 19, 2 p.m. no? That's good. Actually, I was also invited. I'm gonna be there kaso May 6 naman sa UP to talk in front of the National Junior Finance something. Maraming attend eh.
Yes, yes.
Actually,
JP, I think.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. So they were inviting and I think, you know what, I'll probably have tag team with sabihin ko tag team ko si Dean Hilbay kasi I was being asked to talk about cryptocurrency and its effect to the economy. Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, you know why? Because of what's happening all over the world and the rise of cryptocurrencies. No? Even the academy needs to adjust, the universities. Kasi yung old model ng universities is, yun nga, Keynesian, and then hindi naman na-anticipate yung Bitcoin and all the other currencies.
So to your point, Dean, sorry to interrupt. So to your point, the curriculum for economics, banking, and finance are all created on that model.
On the old model.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
And so, para lang yan, dumating yung internet. So, you need to change the outline, you need to change the syllabus.
Gotcha.
Diba? The universities need to adjust kasi hindi pwede na yung mga bata naiintindihan nila yung cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, pero yung mga teacher hindi alam yung concept ng sound money or yung kung ano man yung importante sa mga cryptocurrencies today.
And that's what you're doing in Siliman University right now, Dean. I mean, talk about Bitcoin.
Yes. And so ako, I really struggled about returning to the academe kasi nga parang I'm happy living my life as a farmer, as a homesteader, and mahirap magturo kasi in Siliman, for example, which is in Dumaguete, kailangan mong lumipad para makapagturo.
Where are you based now though, Dean?
I'm in Laguna.
Okay. So you fly pa, akala ko you're based na in Visayas, hindi pala?
No. So hindi ko pwedeng iwan tong aking homestead kasi nga ang pangarap ko talaga just to grow my own food.
So you're managing them remotely na? I mean, you're doing academe remotely.
Yeah, so meron akong helpers dito sa San Pablo. Maliit lang naman yung farm, and so twice a month pumupunta ako ng Dumaguete para magturo, no?
Gotcha.
And I basically went to Siliman to teach evolution of money. Kaya yung course ko is not a regular course ng constitutional law which I taught for 20 years sa UP College of Law.
Right,
no?
you're right.
I think what I'm teaching right now is even deeper, even more fundamental kasi if you teach the students what money is and the evolution of money and where it's going, where I think it is going, it will affect obligations and contracts. It will affect marriages, dissolution of contracts, di ba? Pati yung mga prenuptial agreements.
Ano yun, Dean? Basic law yun or major na yun? Is that a new subject in Siliman?
Yes, it's a new subject. It's
Wow.
called Money and State. And so it's an elective. So I basically talk about the evolution of money from the rhinestones of Yap, diba? To agri-beans.
The island of Yap. The Isle of
Yeah.
Yap.
Kung ano yung nangyari yung sa gold, why gold is very important, why for thousands of years, no, civilizations have always focused on gold, and the rise of the dollar, the current monetary system, and why I think it's about to crumble because of yung unsustainability of fiat money. The problem with fiat money kasi is that it has to be manipulated. It has to be printed dahil nga it's a debt-based system. Yung gold kasi was an asset-based system, di ba? If you have gold, then walang tinatawag na counterparties kasi governments cannot print gold. It's scarce and it's very difficult to find. It's very difficult to convert into coins and gold bars. But in a fiat system, which is a debt-based system, it has to be printed kasi yung governments need to operate. And for them to operate, they need to borrow. And they borrow using fiat money. And yung pambayad nila dun sa inuutang nila is actually not goods and services but more fiat money. And so, kung umutang ako sa iyo, coach, ng 100 pesos ako government, binigyan kita ng 10% interest. Ang balik ko sa iyo after due date is 110 pesos. So, more fiat. Kaya
More money.
talaga no choice kundi mag-inflate. And at some point, that balloon is going to pop.
Correct. All right. The chat room is now exploding with questions. We're gonna be going and asking you questions, Dean. All right. Okay. So, what are the chances of the Philippines joining BRICS? Would it be beneficial for us, according to G and Glenn?
Ako for the Philippines, take a neutral stance, protect the national interest. If I were the BSP and Congress, I'd start buying Bitcoin quietly.
And I'm sure you
think-
have Bitcoin right now.
Oh, what?
I'm sure you have Bitcoin right now, Dean.
I'm never gonna tell you.
Right. Of course, I would assume someone who wrote book about Bitcoin should have Bitcoin. All right. Hello from SPC Din. What is SPC? I'm not sure what SPC. All right. Sir Florin, where can we buy your book?
Okay.
Dean, sorry
We're
sorry before you answer that. Can you talk, siguro di ko natanong yung, kasi people are interested with your book na, but talk to us about this book. I'm really enjoying to read this kay Miranda. Talk to us, what's the inspiration? Maybe a elevator speech about this book, Dean.
Okay. I don't think there's a very good introduction to Bitcoin. And I think the way to introduce Bitcoin to everyone, lahat, no, not just Filipinos but all over the world, is by giving them an evolution of money and showing them what's the problem with fiat. So chapter 1 ko is 10 problems with fiat money. Kasi hindi alam ng mga tao kung ano yung problema sa fiat. When you say high inflation, hindi nila alam na you can have a monetary regime na walang fiat, 'di ba? Yung fees that are imposed by banks, hindi nila alam na that's a problem with fiat money. So I start with yung 10 problems with fiat para malinawan yung pananaw ng mga Pilipino, pati ng mga foreigners who are reading the book. And then, the next few chapters, basically, a history of money. Kasi kapag nakita mo yung history of money, then you understand the big picture. Madali nang explain yung Bitcoin. Bitcoin is very difficult to understand kasi it's very technical. But if I give you a solution without showing you the problem, mawiwindang ka. But if I show you the problem, and provide you a history of why the problem came about, then yung solution mas madali nang maintindihan. Pag sinabi na decentralized money, hindi maintindihan ng mga tao kung bakit kailangan i-decentralize.
Kumbaga, ano yung pinanggalingan niya? Ano yung problema before ba't nagkaroon ng Bitcoin? Kasi everyone has a Bitcoin right now, but what is he trying to solve for?
Yes. Yun nga yung well, it's worrisome for me kasi people are buying Bitcoin purely for trading or investment purposes. No? But if you understand what you're buying, then maybe you'll trade yung ibang part kasi kailangan mo ng fiat, or kung maganda talaga yung chart, yung sa tingin mo na it's an opportunity for a good trade, no? Lalabas ka and then papasok ka later on na mas mababa, you do that. But if you understand Bitcoin, I think you will soon understand na the real value of Bitcoin is once you have some Bitcoin or Satoshis, kasi medyo mahal na yung Bitcoin, no? Yung share mo doon sa 21 million Bitcoins or 2.1 quadrillion Bitcoins, hindi magbabago. Yun yung magbibigay sa'yo ng peace of mind na in the paparating Bitcoin universe, para lang yung internet, no? If someone came to you, Coach, or sa mga listeners mo in the 1980s and say, at some point, computers are going to start talking to each other, isipin mo baliw.
Correct.
That's exactly what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Because pag tinest mo yung Bitcoin, sa lahat ng metro, mabilis bang mag-transmit ng pera? Kailangan ba ng KYC, AML? Yung cost ng transmitting Bitcoin, and then yung fidelity of transmission, lahat ng metrics pasok yung Bitcoin compared to fiat. Then you will say, okay, kailangan ko talagang at least meron akong i-hodl, di ba? Kahit na nag-trade ako nung ilang porsyento ng crypto ko.
And that's, I think it's a good point kasi before you need to you cannot sell what you don't have. You cannot sell what you don't have. You cannot really tell why Bitcoin is a store of value if you don't know, right? What's really about it, no? And I think that's the reason why we have maximalists. You have your people like sailors of the world na okay, talagang I will forever be a Bitcoin hodler kasi they believe on the fundamentals of it. And on that note, where can they buy your book, Dean?
Okay, hopefully down the line it will be available sa mainstream, no, National Bookstore and fully booked. But for now, it's available on my website, florin.hilbay.net. No? And kung nasa Siliman kayo, you can go to the College of Law and it's available there. But for now, it's available all over the country at florin.hilbay.net.
Right. Dean, I will also take the chance to go offline. No, I could even put your book on my website if you want. No, I think everyone needs to know the. I'm just on a. Ako kasi and Dean, just an FYI. Ako kasi I really find time to read books. No, mas gusto ko naaamoy ko yung alam mo yung ganung pakiramdam na tangible ka. No.
That's the way to do it.
Exactly. And the way you at the comment lang Dean, the way you wrote the book. Natuwa ako, ang dami mong footnote, ang dami mo references. Ang dami.
Kasi, alam mo, I've written it for everyone. So kung ikaw, bago ka dun sa space, ayaw mo nung nakikita maraming footnote agad. Pero kung naiintindihan mo na yung Bitcoin, you want to dive deeper, yung mga footnotes can help you.
Right, exactly.
Yun yung purpose niya. So it's really for everyone. And I'm really hoping Filipinos will start reading the book dahil during the Boracay conference, a Swedish man came to me offering to translate it in Swedish.
Oh, wow.
And,
wow.
There's a dual citizen na Pinoy, American, who wants to publish it in the United States. Sabi ko, I really want to get it published internationally because kailangan talaga maintindihan ng mga mamamayan all over the world. Kaya, it will be such a pain for me kung mauna pa yung mga foreigners na mabasa yung libro
Oo.
kumpara sa mga Filipino, because they're the target crowd talaga, especially the young ones, no, yung mga students and yung mga traders.
Dean, how much daw po bawat isa?
Okay, we're selling it currently at 750, free delivery na yon. Para wala nang problema, no? So we can send it to anywhere in the Philippines. We're also open to international orders, but Bitcoin only kapag international orders. Here in the Philippines, 750 pesos will have it sent to you anywhere you are.
All right. Okay, question from Van. How do you think the Philippine government should approach the regulation of Bitcoin and other crypto, considering the increasing popularity and potential impact on the country's financial system?
Okay, I think so long as the on-ramps and off-ramps are available, ako nga, sabi ko sa'yo, Coach, no, I'm very happy na ganun yung regulatory environment. You have banks na pwede kang mag P2P if you're on, say, sa coins.ph. I don't know about PDAX because I haven't seen yung platform nila. Filipinos, I think, have access to Binance also, international. So those entry points and exit points are still available for Filipinos. Kung walang gawin yung Philippine government, I think that would be good for Filipinos kasi they have access to what they might believe is a good hedge or a good exit just in case may mangyari. I think it's also a check on Philippine government, no? If you're the government, you're the central bank, and lumilipat yung tao doon sa Bitcoin and or crypto, maybe it's a reflection on the money printing. And so baka kailangan bawasan yung money printing. For Congress, we always see yung pataas na pataas yung budget. And isa lang yung nagbabayad ng budget na yun, yung mamamayang Pilipino.
But I mean, on that note, I remember Janet Yellen nung to your point na they were printing money Sunday weekend yun eh, bigla sila naglabas ng statement. No, it's not from the taxpayers' money. Ganun talaga yung prelude nila eh, na okay, we're going to save you. We're going to even pay the uninsured part of Silicon Valley. And I mean, hello, who's going to believe you? Saan galing? It's just you're just diluting money, right?
Yeah, you can't create money from nothing. It's creating debt, and that debt will be shouldered by citizens, whether it's Americans, Europeans, Japanese, or Filipinos. No? Kasi nga, if you use printed money to buy goods and services, that printed money dilutes everybody else's printed money. And kaya for me, what's so important about yung, say, Bitcoin and yung scarcity is it protects ordinary citizens. Diba? Kung hindi mo magagalaw yung 21 million na yun, no government can print that kind of money. Then, my Satoshi is protected today, tomorrow, 10 years from now. Yun yung tinatawag na monetary guarantee. Diba? It's very important, especially today.
Grabe. Siguro last question, Dean. So can I surmise that this book is an output of your entire history as well, not just, I don't think it's a discovery. I think nasa sayo na yan eh. You have always believed on something in there as a potential alternative. What was that inspiration that kind of made you write this book?
For me, it's yung concept ng fair and honest system.
Okay.
I've always been a big
So do you
fan
believe,
of
medyo ko kukulitin lang kita din do you believe merong konting hindi fair and honest system ngayon sa sa government?
You have administrations coming and going.
Right.
Good president, may not so good president.
And we'll not go on that topic here, but
yeah. No persons involved, no. But when you're complaining about any particular administration, you're complaining about people in the system. But the beauty of Bitcoin is the system doesn't care about people.
That's absolutely right. It's decentralized. Correct.
It's decentralized, it's run by computer, code is slow, 21% secured by energy all over the world. It connects, yung pinaka-importanting resource of the 21st century is electricity and energy.
Right.
Bitcoin is...
And it's auditable. People can check the history of the transactions.
Yep.
Unlike the banks, diba? Like it's purely auditable, open source, 21
It's a
million.
public
No one, there is no USEC or ASEC or secretary who's managing it. I mean, so to speak, diba? So
Yeah, so you can be an activist without going to the streets, raising placards, diba? Educating people about sound money is good enough. And if you get to convince them, they choose for themselves, they do what's right for themselves and their families, then you've done a good thing with the world. And that's the motivation for the book, really, to tell people about the value of sound money.
Absolutely. On that note, Dean, nako, sobrang busog-lusog yung 1 hour namin. And kung hihirit ako ng second interview, pagbigyan mo ko. Ang dami pang tanong dito, ayoko lang basahin kasi aabot tayo ng alas 12 at alam ko pagod ka na din, no? May tanong pa about AMLA, etc., etc. So, sabi lang dito, galing magpaliwanag ni Sir Florin, same sila ni Coach, nakakatalino kapag kasama mo matatalino. Alright.
Thank you.
Okay. Siguro, habol ko na lang to, Dino. Is there any way to calm inflation aside from raising interest rates? How about sa side ng fiscal policy? Parang estudyante ko to, Okay. Mukhang raising tax. How can we manage inflation by fiscal policies like raising tax?
Mas mabigat yun di ba? Dahil yung fiscal policy means less spending. Mabigat, no? Kaya
Government,
yung pinakamatindi
less OPEX.
really is controlling the money supply and interest rate. Kasi, you can do that with the press of a button. Pero yung fiscal policy, like taxation effort, you need to make the entire government bureaucracy work. Diba? BIR, mag-collect ka ng mas marami. And then, Executive Department, Congress, huwag kayo masyadong gumastos. Medyo mabigat. Kaya nga, more and more makikita mo, not just in the Philippines but all over the world, the use of monetary policy to control governments. Kaya ang pinakamalalakas ngayon really are central bankers, di ba? Politicians, katulad nung sinabi ko sa libro, no? Politicians can speak like clowns and not affect markets. But si Fed Chair Jerome Powell, kahit prepared yung speech, meron lang siyang masabing isang
Ininitpick, di ba, Dean?
It will pump or crash markets all over the world. Correct. Who's the most powerful person in the world? It's not an elected politician. It's not a justice of the Supreme Court.
It's the one who controls the money.
The one who controls the money controls the world.
Exactly. Well, on that note, well said, Dean. Maraming salamat. Miranda, we're going to raffle this. Ang gagawin nyo lang is, pagkatapos ng aming show, paki-follow si Dean sa kanyang Twitter. Kaya follow nyo siya doon. Dean, ano yung Twitter handle mo? @Florin?
Yes, Florin.Hilbay or Florin Hilbay.
Paki-follow siya doon. And then, mag-comment lang kayo sa ating... pagkatapos ng show na to, mag-comment lang kayo ng kahit anong natutunan nyo about sound money. I'm going to raffle 4 books. Ako na magbabayad ng delivery. Wag ka lang sana nasa Pilipinas ka. Ha? Ililibre ko kayo ng 4 na libro. In advance ko na to kasi I really want you to have it. I'm learning about the book, Miranda. Comment lang kayo after the show, not today, no? Not as we're speaking. After the show, comment kayo on whatever you've learned. I'm going to choose their 4 na mananalo. And of course, you need to follow Dean on his Twitter account. All right, Dean, maraming salamat at let's keep in touch.
Thank you so much.
And nakaka-proud lang. And sabi ko nga kay Dean kanina, Miranda, nakaka-proud kasi a little bit starstruck din ako sa kanya kanina. Sabi ko, pakatalino ng taon to. No? Dean, sorry, question ko lang. So, di ba yung 1998 ba yung top 1 is from Baguio Colleges Foundation? 99 ba kayo?
Yes, with the DBM.
I heard, I think she was like an OIC at one time, no?
Yes.
For DBM.
That's right. That's right.
No, at
I'm
least
trying to remember her name. Di ko na
It's like a
matandaan.
girl. It's a girl. I was like,
Yes.
kung 99 si Dean. Because I was in high, well, aminin ko na I was in high school when you were in college, ha? Matanda ka sa akin. I've always been I've always been a fan of
Janet, that's her
yes.
first name.
Yeah, Janet. Yeah. I've always been a fan of Four Top Notchers. So I've known your name way back 90s pa din. I mean, just to be honest with you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Diba? And sabay pa kayo nung taga-Ateneo
You're
na
revealing my age as well.
walang age sa Bitcoin, pare. O, pinarin na kita. Alright. Dean, thank you so much. Sa mauulit. Thank you,
Coach.
sir. Alright, okay. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Salamat.
Alright, Miranda. Nako, hindi ko tinanong si Dean. Sabihin ko sana, I love you 3,000 no? I love you 3,000, no? So sabihin niya. Anyways, Miranda, comment down kayo pag matapos kayo dito. Pagkatapos ng show natin, I'm going to raffle. Ang ganda ng book na to. Di ako nagbibiro sa inyo. I already know Bitcoin. But when I read it, iba yung timpla ni Dean, no? Iba yung timpla niya, yung approach niya sa book. Storytelling siya kasi alam mo naman people are hardwired on narratives, hardwired on storytelling. So I really like the book. Must have, bilhin nyo na, invest kayo dito, or i-wait nyo na lang, no? You guys can actually wait and manalo kayo ng book na to. Nasan man kayo sa Pilipinas, ipapadala ko to through a courier. Alright? Okay, part 2, yes, I'm going to do that, Lancelot, no? Maraming salamat. Sabi ni The Fact Finder, sana coach, sana lahat na nasa government, alam mo totoo yan, no? Sana lahat na nasa government open. And that's one of the reason kung bakit ko kinuha to si Dean, hindi madaling kunin yung mga ganitong klaseng tao, but I'm very proud na pinagtiwalaan niya tayong i-handle yung interview niya about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, Miranda. So sorry. I would like to sorry about that, but I would like to to commend, yung sabi niya nga, I think he's one and only right now na lumabas, in talking about Bitcoin. So let's cheer for that, and of course, minsan kailangan mo lang talaga ng una, for other people to follow. Right? For other people to follow, Miranda. Alright, sabi ni Kim, sobrang talino, maraming salamat. Yes, palike naman. Thank you again, Dusty. Maraming salamat sa inyo, Miranda. Hindi ako mahilig sa book, sabi ni Jokat, pero now I'm really interested, sabi niya. Shout, Arvin Polo TV, 1.4 million subscribers. O, di ikaw na, utol ko yan. Utol ko yan. Alright, malapit na ako magkaroon ng checkmark. Antayin mo lang ako, pare. Utol ko yan, kapatid ko yan. Alright, sana may part 2. Oo nga sana mag-part 2. Or how to join the raffle, Ma'am Feb, mag-comment lang kayo after ng show natin. Doon lang kayo magko-comment sa mismong episode natin. Alright? So thank you so much, Zoe. Ang ganda doon ng live ngayon. Maraming salamat. Study life pala yung S-Life ni Coach. Alright? Iba yung kilig, Followed na. Maraming salamat. Part 2 daw, sabi ni Robin, Sabi ni Loklok Malufit. Ayan, di ba? Gawa kayo ng party list for crypto traders. Alam mo, why not, Mananalo kaya tayo guys pag nagawa tayo kasi ang party list kailangan 250,000 voters. Mananalo kaya tayo? Tingin mo, sabihin ko kay Dean, i-propose ko kaya yan, Kasi meron siyang alam sa government. Propose kaya natin. What do you guys think? I-propose natin kay Dean yan. I'll help him. I'll help him to be a campaign manager for Congress for crypto. Boboto nyo ba? Iboto nyo kasi kailangan lahat ng crypto traders magsama-sama tayo. Di ba? Lahat tayo magsama-sama, Alright? Okay? Listening at the moment, nasa jeep, uwi po. Ingat kayo, Ingat. Nakakataba ng utak. Sana may ganitong show pa together with Boss Florin. Of course, gagawin po natin yan. Sulit daw, sulit. Thank you. Ang daming learning. Sheesh. Thank you. Very promising in crypto. Maraming salamat. Good day, Coach. On the process maging Bisaya mentor. Ayun, sige. Tuloy mo lang yan. Pag ready na, sabihan mo ako, ha? Sabihan mo si Coach. Alright, sarap daw makinig. Okay, maraming salamat. Alright, sige. Kaya na yan, nasa 90K na kay Coach. Hindi, marami kasi tayo international viewers, Miranda. So, kailangan nasa Pilipinas sila. Alam mo, hindi ako nagbibiro. pumunta na sa isipan ko yan, yung ganyang crypto ganyan. Kasi tingin ko, tama yung sound value, eh, no? Tingnan natin. Pero syempre, Miranda, ang party list, they need to represent a marginalized sector. We need to prove na we are marginalized sector, diba? Alright? Okay. Nalulay sa party list. Kayo talaga. Alright. Okay, maraming salamat Miranda. And, teka lang again, thank you again kay Dean Hilbay, former Solicitor General of the Republic of the Philippines. Miranda, balikan ko lang kayo ng konting paalala. Kaya umaakyat si Bitcoin is because of yung FA, no? Meron tayong FA na PCE. Lumabas po yung PCE, and the PCE numbers today are showing very encouraging numbers, no? Lumabas po ng 830 yan. It went down a little. Let me just try to open para mabilis lang tayo, Miranda. Alright? And antayin nyo mamaya naka-sale yung courses natin, Miranda, no? Babagsak namin yung presyo, 50% tayo ng alas 12. Antayin nyo po yan. As usual. Wala po tayong sale on April 4 dahil maal na araw po yun. So ang ating sale is gonna be April 1, no? Pero sabihin ko lang, Miranda, na one of the optics kung bakit medyo gumanda yung ating numbers today is, just give me a second. Here, lumabas yung PCE index, Miranda, ng 8:30 ng gabi sa atin at medyo maganda, no? And that's one of the reason kung bakit medyo umakyat yan. Sabi ko nga sa mga members kanina, hindi muna ako magti-trade kasi I'm looking for something. Kailangan magkaroon ako ng catalyst for that particular price to move, no? And true enough, may catalyst tayo tonight at therefore umangat po ang ating price ng coin. Miranda, meron akong ilalabas na free video bukas. Ayan. So, I've been charting sa mga members kanina yan, Miranda. No? So, sana nakita po ng mga members. Congratulations kung pinasok niyo yung ating charting kanina. Sabi ko kanina, I'm going to enter the bounce on the 1.236. Antay ako ng confirmation. Kapag binasag niya itong 382 na ito, doon ako magkakaroon ng confirmation to buy. And therefore, I bought, no, on above the 382. And of course, nung 8:30, makikita mo itong candle na to, no? During this particular time, 8:30 onwards, yan, itong candle na to. This is an 8:30 candle. Dito umakyat ang price ng Bitcoin simply because meron na naman tayong mga fundamental drivers, Miranda. Meron tayong mga fundamental drivers, Miranda. So that's the reason why Bitcoin is actually on a rally. However, today is also the expiration date of 4 billion worth of options. No? Today is the expiration of the 4 billion worth of options, which definitely means, bigyan ko kayo ng konting istorya, no, Miranda. So ang ibig sabihin lang nun, okay? Ang ibig sabihin lang nun, okay, meron kasing mga traders na marami sa mga options traders ang nag-i-expect that Bitcoin is going to be within the 24,000 level, the max pain point, at least on my last checking, Miranda, no? So marami mga bumili ng January and February na options that will expire today po yun, up until 5 in the morning maya-maya sa Philippines time. Marami sa kanila nag-i-expect that the price of the coin is going to settle at 24,000. Ngayon, kapag tumataas ito, you need to remember, options are actually contracts. They're actually it's a derivative, no, because it's getting the price from the underlying price of the existing asset. In this case, siya ay contracts. Kumbaga, bumili sila, ini-expect nila, binili nila ng January, February, and even prior March, no, they're buying options contracts, expecting that the price of Bitcoin is gonna be at 24,000. Bakit 24,000? Kasi nung January Miranda, the price is only 16, 17. So people were thinking na tataas ang presyo over the next couple of months. Therefore, the quarterly expiration should be within 24,000. With that said, may mga taong nakakaroon ng negative gamma. What negative gamma only means is para silang in Tagalog or in our language, sila ay naka-short at maliliquidate sila on the 29,000 territory. Because merong negative gamma doon, ang ginagawa nila, because they're wanting to sell short, di ba negative sila? Negative yung pera nila ngayon. Kasi meron silang negative options. Negative. So yung kanilang options na binili, kumbaga maliliquidate na. But you need to remember, walang liquidation sa options. No? Kasi wala naman, when you say options kasi, para siyang futures, derivatives, but you have, kaya from the word itself, option, we have an option not to sell. If you buy a particular contract na options, wala kang obligation to sell. Unlike derivatives na futures, you have an obligation to sell whether you like it or not. Therefore, may mga taong hindi na talaga kikita kasi paakit na ng paakit yung coin. So what they're doing, if they're already on the negative gamma, remember, you have words kasi medyo hirap ituro, no? You have delta, you have gamma. Yung gamma, technically, yun lang yung difference from two prices, no? Yung gamma is the delta of deltas. Kumbaga, it's two hedges. Delta is actually the price from your current price to your current standard deviation, if I'm not mistaken, no? So kumbaga, yun yung in-between price mo. Yun yung hedge mo. Ngayon, pag tinamaan na yung delta, there's another delta of a delta. It's the gamma na. Ngayon, yung mga negative na, technically, yung isipin mo na lang na maliliquidate ka na. Ang ginagawa nila, para labanan yung negative gamma, bibili sila sa spot. They will hedge. Ang gagawin nila, para hindi sila naman matalo, kasi talo na sila eh. Ina-expect nila 24,000 lang ang kakalabasan, no? Or even lower, maybe 19 or 20 or 21, 22. Gagawin nila, bibili sila ngayon. They're going to buy on the spot market. They're going to buy on the spot market. Okay. When they buy on the spot market, Miranda, di ba? Negative na. Kumaga, if you're shorting, talo ka na kasi nasa 28,000, 29,000 na si Bitcoin. Today, pag mag-expire ang Bitcoin, ang mga traders, even kahapon, actually kahapon meron na eh. Mapapansin mo, meron na ring sobrang volatility kahapon, pump and dump eh. Ito. Yan. Yung may mga ganyang laban, yung ganyan, liquidity and options expiration yan, ha? Yung mga ganyang effect. Kasi ang gagawin nila, para hindi sila matalo, kasi talo na sila, para malabanan nila yung dumudugo nilang shorting, okay, to fight their negative shorts, they will buy sa spot. And they're buying on the platforms. They're buying market. So, makakita kayo ng mga volatility moves like yung mga biglang aakyat, no? Biglang bababa. Okay? Marami yan on expiration day, and today is the expiration day. Alright? So, medyo ingat sa paggamit ng napakalaking leverages because the prices can really fluctuate based on the quarterly expiration. Ang hirap i-explain kasi ng naka-live, no? Pero sana naintindihan nyo kahit konti. I'm trying to put it in my own words na mas maiintindihan ng isang derivatives trader tulad mo. Kasi pag pinaliwanag ko si Gamma and si Delta, mahabang paliwanagan. Parang nagtuturo ka ng standard deviation on the futures market. Alright? So, with that said, expect for volatility. And one of the driver is the 830 PCE index report na medyo maganda, Miranda. The PCE report came in very, very good. So, iisipin ngayon ng market, no? Iisipin ngayon ng market. Meron ba silang balita dito? Give me a second. Ito. Ayan, meron silang balita eh. So, yan. So, there are inflation softens in February. PCE finds and gives ammo for Fed rate hike pause. Yan ang narrative ngayon. People are thinking, they're not gonna be raising interest rates anymore. Alright, Miranda? Yan ang reason. 8:30 ng gabi. No, if you're going to backtest that, no, let's now go to the 15 minutes time frame. If you backtest, umangat lang talaga siya noong 8:30. This one na. No, 8:30 na ng gabi because there is an FA. It goes back to my point, no, going back to my point yesterday, that there are definitely drivers, no, there are definitely drivers, Miranda, of our price, which we said, ito po yung mga diniscuss natin kahapon. So always make sure you listen to our show para guided ka, Miranda. Alright? Okay. Alright, maraming salamat sa inyo po na inyong pinagbigay sa ating oras. Sabi ni Biohack, late na ako, coach. Paano pa qualified pa ba sa raffle? Pwede ka po sumali sa raffle. After my show, doon kayo magko-comment. Ha? Doon kayo magko-comment. Alright, maraming salamat ka, Miranda. At kung meron kayo natutunan, paki-push naman yung like button natin, no? At tulong na rin sa ating guest for today, no? Tulungan niyo rin ako, Miranda, para marami pa tayo magagaling na mga guest na makuha tulad ni Dean Florin Hilbay, none other than a former Solicitor General of the Philippines. With that said, God bless you, Miranda. I love you. 3,000. And as I always say, okay, I love you 3,000. Salamat. Thank you.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Gotta taste.
Siyempre, I am back, di ba? Nakita ko lang yung nag-comment, paalala ko daw yung poster ko sa FB. Oy, Miranda, I'm not going to sell you Bitcoin. Mayaman na ako, ha? Okay? Mayaman na ako. I'm not going to sell you Bitcoin. Alright? So, wag kayong magpapadala sa mga yan at wala akong kukuning pera sa inyo. No? Bahala kayo sa buhay ninyo. Alright? At, okay. Huy, nahulaan ni Ricky Carion. Babalik pa yan si Coach. Bumalik nga ako, no? Alright. Sarap makinig sa inyo, sabi ni Jay. Maraming salamat. Mayroon pang tanong kanina eh. Link ng course discount. Oh, kayo na yung bahala dyan. Yung raffle ng TradingView, gawin natin ito sa Lunes, members. Ha? Members will do a raffle of TradingView 1 year Pro access para unlimited alerts. Well, meron limit pero marami na 'yon, no? Hindi mo mauubos 'yon, no? Alerts, and that's gonna be your secret to getting more profits if you have more alerts, especially if you're busy, Miranda. All right? Okay. It's a prank. All right. Okay na, sige na. Totoo na 'to. Oy, totoo na talaga 'to. Sige na. All right. Bye.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon.